Tell us a little bit about, I know Temple was constantly throwing up buildings, and it looks as though that there's tons and tons of people working. How can we as minorities get more involved in the process?
Well, I think we can do like we're doing today, putting some pressure on Temple with regards to this job. But I think we need to do also put some pressure on the unions and also the contractors that are in the city, because this is not the only job where diversity is lacking.
I know the mayor has put some things in place where he wants to help include minorities. Do you think some of those efforts are working?
No, because we're here right now, and his legislation has been on the books for a few months now, so the legislation lacks any teeth. So what we have to do, unfortunately, our union won't stand behind us, so we have to pick up signs and go out in the street, make some noise, and let everybody know what's going on. And hopefully the mayor will come around and start putting some pressure on these contractors and also the union.
I've been affiliated with the local for 12 years. Went through an apprenticeship program for 4 years. And basically I haven't really worked that much. I have no benefits, you know, and I have a family to take care of also, just like everyone else. And I just feel as though, you know, something has to be done to try to get these things to come together so that I can get work.
Why do you think you haven't been able to get work? What's been stopping you from working?
Well, I think there's a multitude of reasons. One being the color of my skin. I think that the the job force is basically primarily Caucasian when it comes to trades. Why, I don't know. But I feel as though I did a 4-year apprenticeship program, so I feel as though I should be given the same opportunity as everyone else so that I can take care of my family.
I've been an iron worker for 31 years. I know I don't look like it, but it's true. I worked on almost every major project you see in this city, this skyline that we look at every day. I had a hand in building this city up the way it looks downtown. I also worked on the Philly Stadium and did projects for Children's Hospital and University of Pennsylvania. And I don't understand why I don't get an opportunity to make money to take care of my family and to pursue the American dream like everybody else. And I have children, I have bills, I have obligations, timelines, dates that I have to be obligated to. And let's face it, we live in America and we need money to do all these things. And that's what my agenda is about, is to make money and to have an opportunity to do that. And I just can't let injustice be done and not say anything about it, especially when it's done to me personally and to people that look like me. If we want to be on equal footing with other people, we need to be seen on these jobs. That makes our community better, that makes our families better, that makes us stronger as a country.
I've been in the Carpenters Union for 24 years. I went through my 4-year apprenticeship from 1989 to 1993, and as well as Stefan, I worked on a lot of the major projects in the city, you know, both convention centers, the Kimmel Center, La Yacora Center. It's always been a struggle, and if it hadn't been for different compliance agencies, I believe that I would have worked even less than I have. We have multiple projects going on in North Philadelphia and throughout the city. Current projects and planned projects with Temple University, which sits right there in the middle of North Philly. The construction employment on these projects are living wages from $40 to $60 an hour, but the neighborhood residents aren't allowed to participate in them. And these are jobs that would lift people out of poverty.
Everybody has a family, everybody has responsibilities, and it's hard to meet those when you're not getting any work. And Temple right now is one of the biggest things going on in the city, and I feel as though, you know, we should be included in this job, and until we are, like they always say, no justice, no peace. So we'll continue to do what we do and protest until some things change.
Union jobs for all! Union jobs for all! Union jobs for all!
Hey, Temple, don't
Where is the diversity? Money for jobs and education, not for worksite segregation. Money for jobs and education, not for worksite segregation.
I just want to know why the contractors that are working for Temple University on these projects have been telling us that if only we existed, they would hire us. We exist, and we just don't understand why we're being told that we're invisible right there where we are. And when we speak out on it, we're told to be quiet.
We don't know exactly where Temple's position is as we speak right now, but based upon the sheet inside of their office, they did want to do at least a good face value attempt to employ people from the neighborhood. They just haven't enforced it. I guess Driscoll hasn't enforced it, Temple hasn't enforced it, and the contractor just did whatever they want to do.
I don't know what we have to do to tell people that we have union cards, that we live in Philadelphia, in the neighborhoods where the projects are occurring, and that we belong to the different groups being excluded. We constantly solicit work. Every day we go to work. We see the projects before they even start, and we see the workforce go from 0 to whatever number it reaches as we're overlooked. Myself, I have to think that it's because of my gender, because I was trained just like everybody else through a union apprenticeship, and I would put up my skills up against anybody out there. So I don't understand who we have to go to so that the parties can't get away with saying that if only we existed, they would hire us.
When you look at a city like the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding counties where there's a heavy population of Latinos and African Americans and Hispanics, and then you go to the construction job sites and you see that they are not represented in the job sites, it brings a big concern to me. And me being a tradesman and my lack of opportunity, and like Mr. Lumpkin had mentioned earlier, we also would like to be a part of the American dream. And I think that construction companies in general have done a disservice to the citizenry of this area by not including minorities or including diversity into their workforce. And it's sad, it's a sad commentary on the state of the public when we deny access to everybody. And I think it's also a double negative to the city of Philadelphia not to include people who live in these neighborhoods on these jobs. These jobs pay very well, and we are not privy to pay the tax base like we should. I think the city has done a terrible job in enforcing contractors to comply with these regulations. And also I believe that if they had complied, I think some of the budgetary issues that they wouldn't have, because they would have the tax base that they don't have right now.
I personally have solicited work in the city of Philadelphia on just about every job for the past 4 or 5 months. And a lot of the job sites that are in full effect now had been pretty slow at that time, and there are almost no union tradesmen on those jobs. And to see them go from 0 to a full site where the workforce is in full force, and someone like myself, I'm an African American, is not being represented on that job site, and also me being excluded from those job sites just like everyone else at this table, I think it's really an injustice, and there's something that needs to be done about it.
The Temple job site is the glaring example to all of the residents of the city of Philadelphia for the lack of diversity. It's probably the biggest project going on in the city right now in the middle of North Philadelphia. However, the diversity on the job is lacking, and it speaks exactly to the problem. The problem is that the contractors are not complying with the rules that are set forth by City Hall. The mayor made legislation, or he created legislation not too long ago for contractors to comply with rules, and the contractors have just totally disregarded the issue. They left us no choice outside of demonstrating, and we will continue to demonstrate at Driscoll's job site down at Temple University of Broad and Oxford until they comply with the rules and regulations that are set forth with regards to diversity. We don't want to take away the pie, we just want a piece of the pie. And that's all we're asking for with regards to inclusion on that job.
We've been going steadily backwards for decades. It's an outrage. Nobody's enforcing it. The government's turning a blind eye. The university blames the contractors, blames the union, blames the university. It's got to stop.
We want to see Temple University hiring Latinos, Puerto Ricans, African Americans, women, all people, you know, to be really diverse, a diverse university.
We're just asking for enforcement because what we come across when we speak to the contractors, they claim that they don't have any intent to discriminate and that nepotism is not illegal. And what they fail to understand is that when corrective measures have been set by the government, by the federal government, to maybe correct these exclusions from certain groups that supposedly have no intent of discrimination behind them, and these corrective measures aren't followed, then the nepotism in fact becomes intent to discriminate because these corrective measures aren't followed. So there's no excuse behind saying, well, you know, I don't like you because you're from this group, I'm just taking care of my family. And we come across people that just say, oh, well, nepotism is not illegal. But it is when federal regulations are not followed. And we want the city, state, and federal agencies that are supposed to enforce these regulations to step up and do their job.
We have to have a part in the construction of this city. If we live in a city, they want taxes to be paid in this city, we can do that. But we have to have the opportunity to do that to get on these job sites. You can't have a workforce that is made up of mostly Caucasians who don't live in the city, who make money in the city, take the money out of the city and take it to their own hometowns or community and expect the city to flourish. It's not going to happen. You need the residents of this city to participate in the growth of the city and prosperity in the city. Everything works when everybody works in the city that lives in the city. And that's what I want this construction site and construction in general in the city of Philadelphia to reflect, the residents that live here.
I think that what should start to happen is a lot of these contractors that come and that don't include minorities, should I say, Afro-Americans, Latinos, women, they should be responsible for that, and they should be held responsible by basically saying there's rules, okay, of the world. Basically, if you don't do something, you're penalized.
Shame, shame on Temple. Shame, shame, shame on Temple. Shame, shame, shame on Temple. Shame.
I really think it's unfair of Temple, as big of a college as Temple is, and supposedly a diverse college, for Temple to let something like this get to this stage. There should have been something in the contract and the bargaining table before this job got this far to include people that occupy that tax base. And obviously there's nothing there, because if it was, we wouldn't be here. We would be at work, and we're not.